All right, good day, good day. I'm Seko Varner. I'm here with my favorite wholesaler.
Hi, I'm Tobias Morrison.
Okay, good. Today we're going to talk about private money. Private money, some people use the term hard money. We're going to talk about that. All right, so my firm, Positive Vibe Financial, really deals with a couple of things. We deal with credit repair, tax resolution, debt consolidation, and private money is one of the things we really like working with. All right, so let's talk. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about traditional funding versus investment funding. We're going to talk about why I want you to be powerful. We're going to talk about working with wholesalers like my friend Tobias. We're going to talk about, what we'll need to get, what documents and stuff we'll need to pull together if you want to do private funding. And we're going to talk about syndication. I can help fund you and I can help you get involved in the syndication as well as raising your score. So we're going to talk about all of these things. So a number of you know me from my entertainment services. I'm a disc jockey. I have a disc jockey company as well as my friend Tobias has a DJ service as well. All right. And we do educational consulting, private money lending, credit repair services. But today we want to really kind of lock in on the private money funding. So I've been involved with real estate off and on for a while. This was my favorite transaction. I sold a church in downtown Norfolk. That was a great transaction. It put me in the $1 Million Club. This was back in 2006. And so I've been an investor back in the day. I was a real estate agent for a while. I tell you, that's my favorite moment when it comes to real estate. That check was nice. I sold the Lord's house. That's a good feeling, man.
As long as you give me 10%.
He got more than that. Okay. He got my life, right?
Right.
So let's talk about the difference between traditional funding and investment funding. It's pretty simple. Traditional funding, you are the investment. And investment funding, the investment is the investment. So let's let that think for a second. So you in the so what you do with a traditional fund, the bank is going to look at your credit score, they're going to look at your income, they're going to look at a couple of things based on you to make sure that you can afford the property. With investment funding, however, they're going to look at the management, the property, the function of the property. That's what they're going to really invest in. They're not necessarily investing in Tobias. They're investing in Tobias's property, Tobias's management, and the function of that property that Tobias is working in. So traditional, you. Investment funding, the investment. All right, so what I normally do, I fund real estate investors. Here's an example. The purchase price would have been $98K. It needed $28,000 in repairs. The after repair value would be $186,000. And the funds that I work with can provide you with up to 90% of the acquisition costs and 100% of the rehab costs. So you're in a great situation. They're not banking on you. They're banking on the investment. A little different, right? All right, so I want to talk about being powerful for a moment. And this is going to be a little bit of a shift, but instead of simply looking at the traditional funding and the investment funding I provide, to really benefit from this investment funding, there has to be a bit of a mind shift, a mindset shift. So this is the reason why I want you to be powerful, because I want all of us who are watching this to really focus on becoming powerful. For this reason, for this generation, this is a picture of my wife and I when I became a father, when she became a mother. I want you to be powerful for this generation. And let's go ahead and give an operational definition. Powerful, we have powerful people, we have valuable people, and we have people with little value, all right? So the powerful can hire or uplift themselves and anyone else they choose to hire and uplift. Now, I know sometimes we think that somebody's talk was powerful, their sermon was powerful, their vision is powerful. No, I'm using this as a very tangible definition. So some of the things I want to say may be a little different. The valuable, they work for the powerful. They're uplifted by the powerful. Now, the highest level of valuable is influential. So there might be some people who are extremely influential. I want you to be powerful. Like, for instance, Mark Cuban versus Draymond Green. Mark, tangibly powerful. Draymond, tangibly valuable. So when we look at valuable people, we're looking at athletes, workers, leaders, politicians, teachers, coaches, religious leaders, presidents. Remember, the highest level of influence and value is influence. So these people are all influential. A lot of times we get it twisted. We think they're powerful. They're not powerful. They're influential. You have that auntie, that uncle, who may not be the smartest person in the room, but they have a job that they can hire you for. That's power. Powerful have tangible resources to do what they want to do and employ anyone else towards that end. Influential people have the ability to compel others to use their resources to achieve a vision or a goal. That's not power. Positional power, you might be a president. By the virtue of your position, you're able to do some influential things, but that's not real powerful. Powerful people are tangible. People with little value, they can't hire themselves. They can't uplift themselves. They can't get hired or uplifted gainfully. They have a hard time maintaining upliftment or employment. And often they get trapped in cycles of poverty. All right, so what we want to do is do a mind shift so that the work that I'm going to give you in just a minute, I'm going to give you that work. I'm going to give you that work, will be able to be understood and accepted. Because I want you to be powerful. I want you to get involved in real estate investing to be powerful. So we need more powerful people because we have folk returning. We have folk returning from imprisonment. We have folk returning from domestically violent situations. We have folk returning from depression. We have folk returning from a lot of reasons. In the chat, I want you to type in some reasons, some things that we need powerful people for. And to become powerful, we need to do what powerful people do. So powerful people make things happen. Valuable people watch things happen. And people with little value say, what just happened?
Right.
Right?
I missed it.
Yeah, powerful people make things happen. Valuable people watch things happen. And people with little value.
It's
Yeah.
$11 worth of sandpaper and $20 worth of paint.
Okay, $20 worth of paint, whoever that is, that's what's up. So what we want to do is everyone to start investing, saving, and spending last. That's what powerful people do. Valuable people spend, save, and they invest last. Powerful people educate to gain and maintain power, influence, and opportunity. Valuable people educate themselves to get a good job. People with little value embrace education if it doesn't get in the way. So when I say education, I'm not simply meaning going to a four-year college, going to a trade school, or going to high school or middle school. I'm saying educating yourself in these various verticals: real estate, stocks and bonds, maritime, all these areas where we can become very powerful. Educate yourself in these areas. And hopefully I'm going to say something that will be educational for you today so you can gain, maintain power, and become influential. Because why do I want you to become powerful? I said for this generation, but truthfully, I want you to become powerful for the next generations, for your children's children's children.
Okay, so what I was thinking when you were saying about the generational thing, I absolutely agree with you that the concept of whatever you're embarking on in this generation, right, if transferred, the next generation doesn't have to redo this. That's learned. They get to do this. They get to go up a level and say, not only do I have these skills innately because they've been in the generation, they've been in the family for a generation. I get to elevate them. So maybe instead of flipping one house at a time, we know how to do 5 at a time. Or if I don't do one house, maybe I do an apartment building. Okay? Or if I do one house, maybe I own a construction company. All of that is built upon whatever we do at the first level. So I think the job of the generation, whatever generation you're in, is to collect as many skills, as much knowledge and abilities and skills, transfer them so they can be a stepping stone for the next generation. Woo.
All right. So let's talk about working with wholesalers. Now that we have the mindset thing down pat, now that we want to become powerful. So I want to show you how to get the money, but you need to find out how to get the properties. So let's talk about working with wholesalers. And I have one of my good friends, Tobias. How are you doing, brother?
I can't complain. How are you, sir?
I'm feeling great, man. How's the family?
Everybody is well. No complaints at all.
That's what's up. That's what's up. He's one of my favorite wholesalers. On a daily basis, he's sending me a text with pictures like, Seko, if you want this one, you gotta jump on it. This is a site that I often go to, and they often have pictures and properties. So there's one here in Suffolk, 137,000. That's in Atlanta. Suffolk again, 53,000. So you can go on different sites where wholesalers have information with some of the higher level wholesalers. And that's how you can find some of these properties, because 53,000, 93,000, that's below market value. So now you can rehab these properties. And that's what wholesalers do. They do the looking work for you, right?
Yes, sir. We do the looking. We do all the numbers. We'll even go talk to the owners, take pictures, do the value, and give you numbers of where we approximately believe you should be. So you don't have to do anything and just stay in the house and then call people like Mr. Varner and go forward with your transaction.
You call me Mr. Varner, so I have to call you Mr. Morrison now.
I mean, it's for them.
Look, as long as they call me when I'm not asleep, it's all good.
We'll take it.
All right. So let's look at this property in Suffolk, Virginia. 53,000. This actually has around 40 pictures if you were to click through. I'm just giving you a screenshot. And as you can see on this site, Equity Deals Pro, they have a lot of great properties, although I normally get most of my properties from Tobias. I also will look at Equity Deals Pro. All right. And hopefully Queen Janelle is on. Is she on? Is Catherine on? Catherine, okay. Catherine said, yep. Catherine works with them. So Catherine, if you can give your information in the chat to everybody who's there. Catherine Curry Robinson, if you can type in your information in the chat, and everybody who's interested in wholesalers, check her out. And Cheryl says, oh, Cheryl Berry. Beep, beep, is that my bestie in a testy? Yeah, Cheryl Berry, we ready. Girl, you look good with a T on the end. I guess I'll stop there because she's gonna say, you didn't say that about the men. I checked you earlier, Cheryl. All right, that's my girl. You have to go on the site and check it out. But Catherine, share your information with everybody.
I got another website.
Okay, well, actually, let's get your number.
Okay, you can call my business at any time, 919-726-4799. That is the office number, and it goes directly. I even write it down.
Okay, write it down, put it in the chat people. So you can hit up Catherine, you can hit up their website. My fave is my good brother Tobias here. Catherine is the deal. Catherine is the deal. So hold up, Catherine Curry Robinson. Actually, I'm looking for a different Catherine. I'm looking for Catherine Janelle. She may not be here. So, okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So what happens? I get this property, get this information about a property, right? And then I get comps. I get comps from a real estate agent, right? So my real estate agent, or you can get it from Zillow, or you can get a subscription to PropStream, and you can really do a really deep dive with the comps in the area. So this is a property that I did a bid on, 44 Hobson, and my real estate agent, one of the real estate agents that I work with, I actually work with 10 of them. She did the comps for me. And as you can say, she says, hey, there's 3 bedrooms within a quarter of a mile. And she kind of gives me some information. This is what it kind of looks like when I click view all listings. So Tiara sends me this information, and here are 3 properties, and actually it's about 15 properties that are part of the comps. But these are 3 that I had just for this shot. And it kind of shows me where those comps are. So the subject house is that little green dot in the middle, and then those other red pieces around that, those are the comps. So you can see within a quarter of a mile what I'm kind of looking at. She can go a mile, she can go 2 miles, she can go 15 miles. So those are the type of things you're looking at once you're working with wholesalers. So once again, you're going to see the properties. Tobias will give them to you. Catherine will give them to you. You'll find those properties working with a wholesaler. You'll do your due diligence. You'll do some comp work. And after I get this comp work from Tiara or from Tawana or from Chandra Patterson or from Chase Womack or from Paul Brinson, when I get these comps, then I start figuring out how much it's probably going to cost. And if I'm really happy about those properties, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk that property with one of my contractors. I might pay him $50, $150, and he's going to go through and he's going to say, okay, I need to fix this, I need to fix this, I need to fix this. Sometimes you don't have time to do that. So you have to get really structured in understanding how much things cost in your area. Now, if you missed Anita Hayes yesterday, she was dropping gems. She was dropping gems. One of the gems she dropped was they kind of look at the square footage and they multiply that by 25. Now, in some areas, you multiply that square footage by $40, $35. In new construction, sometimes you might want to look at $75 per square feet. But if you're doing rehabs, 25, 35, 40, those numbers work. So that's a good way to come up with some ways to figure out. And see, I haven't even gotten into the deal yet.
You haven't at all.
I haven't gotten into the deal because these people are finding wholesalers to work with. They're finding properties through the wholesalers. And after they get that wholesale contract, that's when I come in. That's when I come in, okay? So here's an opportunity. This is one of the properties I helped fund. $33,000 got from family. Real good deal, got it from family.
Mhm.
Hey, your family's sitting on some property that they don't know what to deal with. You need to probably have a conversation with your family, your entire family.
Or I can.
Well, that's true.
I can. I'm not related, so I can.
Yeah, and here's the deal. You need to have that conversation with your family before he does. Because when he does, you'll still get the property, but it's gonna cost you a little more. So have that conversation with your family. So this one was 33K, repairs 58K. I was able to write a check from my funds for 90% and 100% of the rehab. He actually added some square footage to the property, so it takes a little longer. Like my last flip was just around 3.5 months. He started a month before. He's still working because there's some things that you may have to do when you're adding on to a property. You know, you have to get a lot of stuff done with the city. So his property is probably going to cash out in a few. Okay, good. So what do you need for Seko to work with you or any private funder? Well, to get a private funder to work with you, you want to have a really great credit score. Now, 550, we can work with you. It's going to be challenging. You're going to pay a lot more. It's sweet after you have 720. If you have 720 and above, it's sweet. If you have 720 and above, it's sweet. And you have to have some assets. So assets are money in the bank. In other words, that person who's going to give you money, that entity that's going to give you money, wants to make sure that you have some money to do the deal. So you have to have some skin in the game. Now, we talked about OPM, other people's money yesterday. It doesn't have to be your money to make up your assets. Assets are monies that you manage. So if you crowdfund money, from your family, from your friends, and then you have some assets in place, all right? You might have some assets in your IRA. I pulled funds from my IRA account. You can too if you have a nice one, all right? Some of your investment accounts, you can pull some funds. You can pull those funds from your families and you write a deal with them so you're paying them back. As long as you get assets, There are ways you can structure it. Now, with a traditional loan, there's some things that they won't allow. They won't allow gifts up to a certain point. I mean, after a certain point. Investment funding is different. Once again, investment funding is based on the investment, not on you.
Mm.
So some of those regulations where you can't get a certain amount of money from family and friends, everything has to be connected to your income. That doesn't apply with real estate investing funding. It does not apply.
May I ask a question?
You got the answers.
All right, so for them, let's say, as you said, personal money. What if I have a cash flowing LLC? It is not my personal bank, but I have a cash flowing LLC from a business I might have started that's been working at least a year or two profitable. Can I bring you those? I do a bank statement, or can I show the funds at all?
Absolutely. Let me tell you why. When you do investment transactions, it's business to business, it's B2B.
Mm-hmm.
So Tobias is not going to get an investment loan. Tobias LLC,
Okay,
Morrison LLC,
okay,
Morrison Inc.,
okay.
M&M,
MHM,
MHM House Deals.
yeah, Morrison
LLC.
Housing Miracles.
And there's a story behind that. If we have time, I want you to tell that
We'll
miracle
tell
story.
later. We'll tell later.
Ashe. Amen. So you're going to have a business entity, and I'll talk about that a little later. Well, actually, it's on the screen right now. So there's a difference between the as-is and the ARV. That means that there's going to be an appraisal when you're dealing with private funds. Because once again, you're coming with the deal, they're coming with the money. So they want to make sure their money is safe. So they're going to check your credit score, and the lower your credit score is, the more you're going to pay to use their money, because they want to make sure their money is safe. They're going to make sure you have assets, because they want to make sure their money is safe. They're going to do an as-is appraisal, and then they're going to look at your building plans, your rehab plans, and do a ARV, an after repair value appraisal, to determine if there's enough space there for it to be profitable for them. And then there's going to be some documentation. You need to have the LLC or corporation to receive the funds, as we just talked about. You want to have your contractors in place, because your contractors are going to give you a bid for the work that needs to be done on that property. Okay. I love what was said earlier about having 3 contractors to give you a bid, because then you come down with the real price, and you can also determine which contractor has vision. When you first start off as a real estate investor, you want to have the contractor who has vision. Some contractors get the job done excellently, but some have vision. And those who have vision are going to be able to guide you through this process in a really profitable manner. So look for those contractors who have vision. You need to find a couple of real estate agents. All right. These real estate agents will help you along the way. They can tell you what light fixtures, what fixtures in the bathroom, what fixtures in the hallway are selling properties. All right. We need that information. Okay, so contractors, real estate agents, there's going to be appraisals. You're going to have to pay for title insurance, hazard insurance. Hazard insurance? Well, yeah, what's hazard insurance? That's when somebody's working on your house and they may fall down and hurt themselves. You have a deal that's going to give you profit. So you want to place insurance not only on the property, but on the deal. You want to make sure that none of the workers, or you want to make sure that after the work is done, somebody walking through and doing a viewing doesn't get hurt. Because somebody, yeah, I really love this house. I'm going to fall down and break my leg when I'm doing this viewing. If you don't have hazard insurance,
It's their house.
it's their house. Yeah, it's past their house. It's their house.
Their house.
And 100%, 90%, 80%, 70% purchase loan to value, LTV. These are some things you might want to Google. I'm not going to give you all the game. I want you to email me so we can have some discussions about how to approach this properly, how to approach this in a profitable manner, how to approach this the right way. So hit me up. My number's there. email me is the best way. Email me is the best way. So Google 100% LTV, 90%, 80%, 70%. All right. You need to have articles of incorporation for your business, your EIN letter. You're going to have operating bylaws for your INC or your LLC, and they're going to be guarantors on the loan. In other words, even though it's an investment fund, they still want to have somebody to guarantee that's going to be properly managed. I'm going to give you this money, Mr. Morrison. I need to make sure it's properly managed. All right. So with those guarantors, you need to have an ID, social security number. Yeah, you're going to have to give up your social security number. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to all three of the credit reporting agencies, and you're going to put a freeze after they check your credit. You're going to put a freeze so nobody can take out loans and other crazy stuff using your credentials. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a freeze on your credit right now, it's almost the time to do it. And now is the time to do it. So if you don't have a freeze on your credit score, on your credit, please go find out how to do a credit freeze. I do that for my clients. Look, one of my clients is about to get a divorce. We put a freeze on his credit. The person he's divorcing tried to do a shopping spree with a new card. Because we froze the credit, the shopping spree was stopped. All right, I'll let that marinate. So, hey, if you don't have a freeze on your credit, go ahead and do it. So, and you're also going to need personal tax returns. Yeah, they want to see who you are, make sure that you are who you say you are, and make sure that it's a great investment.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Tamara Lawrence wants to know, do you need a guarantor during business to business?
The unfortunate piece is if you own an INC or LLC, you're going to have a guarantor, even though it's B2B. Now, here's the good thing. If you get great business credit, you may have the funds that show the assets, and the more assets you have, the less you need a personal guarantor. So, Ms. Lawrence, or Tamara Lawrence, if you really increase your business credit, the more that you have as an asset, the less you need to personally be responsible for. But every lender is a little different. There are some no-doc loans for investments where they're not going to be a guarantor. You're going to pay more in interest rate and in points. So it's flexible. It's nuanced. It's nuanced.
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so to increase my business credit, I understand increasing credit. I got that, but business credit, the money is in the bank. So how do you increase the business credit?
By giving me a call or giving me an email. I want to make sure we get through all of this information. So Ms. Lawrence,
We got it.
hit me up and we're going to answer all your questions, and we're going to do a deep dive to make sure that your particular situation can be addressed.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you for understanding. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So everything you see on the screen, we got to do that. We got to do it. Okay. So my team also helps people with their credit score. Isn't that a nice segue? You would think I paid her to ask the question at that very time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not though. Hey, so look, if your credit score is kind of low, follow these steps. Go to creditkarma.com. Credit Karma doesn't give you a real FICO score. It's truly a FACO score. It can go up 20 points, go down 20 points. So it's really it's a FACO score, but it's a great place to start. Get a copy of your credit score from Credit Karma. In Credit Karma, they don't give a lot of identifying information. So when you get your score, it won't have your date of birth, it won't have your social security number, although you'll need that information to start the account. But when you download the report, it won't have that. You can cross out any other identifying information. Send a copy to my team. We're going to review it. It's no cost for you. We're going to review it. We're going to give you the best options in the little report we call the no cost report. And then we offer some solutions for you. We can show you exactly how to do it yourself. We can show you how to do it with a team, or we can do it for you to help you get to that score that you're looking for. So if you follow those steps, that's one way. Now, my team will do this. There are a couple of other teams out there that'll do the very same thing. So find the team that you're comfortable working with. But it can be real simple. Get your Credit Karma report, send us a copy, we'll review it, show you what your options are. Do it yourself, do it with a team, or we'll do it for you. But those are things, because the higher your credit score is, the better rates you're going to get. The better rates you're going to get. So if you have a low credit score, you're going to pay more points. And the points are 1% of the loan. So you have 550 credit score, you might pay like 7 points, might even be 8 points up front, which means just to get them to loan you $100,000, you're gonna have to pay $8,000 up front just to get in the deal, okay?
Or they can go to Positive Vibes and work on their credit and save that $8,000.
And now we can connect you with a good brother, Tobias, wholesaler, and he'll find those properties for you. I should have pulled up some of those texts that you sent me. I might do that just before we end.
I can show them the ARV stuff. We can do that.
Okay, well, let me get through this last
Yes,
few
sir.
pieces and then I'll give it to you.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. All right, so, isn't that one of the properties you sent me?
That is exactly the property.
No, we're not gonna say where it is.
No.
We're not gonna say,
No.
I'm still working on that deal. Actually, those both are properties you sent me. One is in Chesapeake, one
Yeah.
is in
Somewhere,
another place.
somewhere. A little slice of heaven.
Right, so Tobias was able to send it. So you can see that some of them need a lot of repair and some of them look pretty decent. Some of them need a lot of repair. All right, but here's a good case. I'm gonna go through my best case scenario. This is one I did with my wife. All right, we just closed 2 days ago, so I'm kind of excited about this.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna show off a little bit something. All right, so purchased it at 96K, repairs for 60,000. At that point, they said the after repair value was around 227. Keep that in mind. The ARV was 227. Okay. That's the beginning when we first bought it. That's kind of what it looks like now. Except I can't go inside of it now because someone else owns it.
I know that house.
Well, yeah, you got a chance to go through it, Jose. That's my good brother, Jose Cruz. When you need to get your insurance, you can tap into him. What also, you do something with I know you renamed yourself, but it's the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Hampton Roads version, but you named yourself something like Coastal Latinos or something like that.
Right. They are the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Coastal Virginia.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, good brother Jose. So our good friend Tawana Randolph was the listing agent. So she assisted me with the short sale process. With short sales, sometimes you have to have a realtor to list the property just for the bank to approve you purchasing the property. So she listed the property and then she also listed the property after we sold it. We put it on the market on a Friday at 7 a.m. We took it off the market on a Sunday at 4 p.m. And we had something like 45 to 60 showings, 17 contracts, and we closed yesterday. So that's what it kind of looks like. So you can see this was the water cabinet, well, not the water cabinet, but this is one of the bar areas. Before, in the middle, after. This was the master, well, they don't use the term master bedroom anymore. It's the owner's suite.
Owner's suite.
It's the owner's suite.
I like that.
I like it too. We were asking for transparency and justice, but we got different real estate terms. We got Aunt Jemima removed.
Yeah.
All right, let me get off my political stuff. All right, so this is the owner's suite. And Tawana's with Maxwell Realty, and I think Kit Lockett is too. She was just up here.
Grace Realty as well.
Yeah, she owns her own realty company and she operates under the Maxwell team.
Mhm.
And if I get my license again, I'll probably go with them. This is the kitchen. This is when we first purchased it. Now, when we purchased it, we bought everything. We bought the house and their junk.
Mhm.
This is in the midst of it when they were doing some renovations, when we were doing some renovations. This is it now.
Mm. Total switch around.
Here are some of the numbers. So when we went through underwriting and so my wife and I, our firm is Generational Roots.
Okay.
My consulting firm is Positive Vibes, but our thing together is Generational Roots. So this was a Generational Roots. And so we actually did a syndicate where I took some of my money from Positive Vibes. We took some of our money as Generational Roots and we made a syndicate. And a syndicate is when you pool your resources together to do an investment.
Game.
Yeah.
Game. This is game.
So what do we have to bring to the table? When they talked about assets, we had to bring $20,693. So Positive Vibes brought some money. Generational Roots brought some money.
That's 10%.
Some other people brought some, because it was a 90%, 100% deal.
Okay.
90% of the acquisition price, 100% of the rehab. So we syndicated some money to pull this together. All right, so these are what some of the numbers look like. Earnest money deposit, first appraisal. You can see that the rehab costs all together was $59,922.50 for a total of $165,742. That was, that was the purchase price, the rehab, carrying cost. Purchase price, rehab, carrying costs. And that's what we walked away with. And I want to be able to do that for each and every person that's watching this great workshop, the Black Brand. I'm a member. Tobias, you might want to consider that. I know you're not in Hampton Roads, but this could benefit you where you are.
My business is here. I'm not physically here, but I'm here.
Okay, so you got to get a membership.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay,
I'm
Blair,
part of
you
the
got
Black
that
Brand.
on. You got it on record, all right? Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
we got live, huh?
All right, so a syndication is a process of investors pooling their intellectual and financial resources to invest in, even though it's normally real estate, it's actually any type of investment. All right, so this is what we're looking at. I have two syndications that we're working on. One you have to be invited into, and another one is going to be on a deal-to-deal basis. So in a deal-to-deal basis, if you put anywhere from 500 to 1,000 in, you're going to get 9% on your investment in about 3 to 6 months. All right. With the one you get invited in, it's a little different, but they can expect that an equity partner, which would be somebody who can invest more than 20,000, they'll get equity on the deal. There'll be equity on the deal and 6%. So they kind of get double dipping.
Or you can learn how to wholesale, not be selfish, sacrifice your fee and join.
As you will. As you will. Those are our current offerings. So the money will be used for earnest money deposits, lender apps, appraisals, all of those things. And so if you have any questions or thoughts, yeah, we're here for you. Give me an email, give me a call, let's chat. We want to improve our community. When I was 3 years old, my family started practicing Kwanzaa in my father's church. So since I've been 3, I've been practicing, and studying about Kujicha Galia and Ujamaa and those principles that say we got to do stuff together. We have to leave this world better than we inherited it. We have to leave our community more beneficial and beautiful than we inherited is the principle. So you can do this. We can have a win, win, win. That's corny. So I'm Positive Vibes, Seko Varner, your friend in financial freedom. And look, I hope this has made sense to you. But Tobias, we have about 4 minutes left. Can you hit the ARV thing real quick?
Yes, so if you're when we begin wholesaling, because I'm not going to say if you are, we are going to begin because that's how we begin our simple interest. I can make it very simple. If you want to know how do you get paid, I'll make room and I'll show you. Let's use a simple equation. The ARV for any house that you find, we're going to use $100,000, or just use $100. We'll start from there. So let's say our ARV is $100. You know that there will be, to reach this ARV, we need a minimum of 35 to 40,000. So then we'll do minus 40,000. So that's already 60. But you're going to start, you need to find out 70% of the ARV. So the ARV is 100, 70%, I mean, be 70. So you go 70, you know that you're going to have 40 of rehab. So now you're at 30,000. You want to join in equity, you need to put up $10,000 for your assignment fee. So boom. So now you're at 20,000. You want a little wiggle room because you're using OPM, which is other people's money. So let's not be greedy. So you minus a little 5. So now you know when I go look at the house that your family had that you didn't want to call about, I'm only going to offer them $15,000, but they have no closing costs. They can leave anything they want, no issues. $15,000. I'll now take that $15,000 purchase agreement that I have to Positive Vibes Financial. I say, hey, I'll sell it to you for 25. And then guess what? I get $10,000. Mr. Varner gets the house. He puts 40 in. He puts the 40 in. So now he's only in the house for 50,000. He's gonna sell it for way above 100 at these rates. So now I got $10,000 for a house that I never paid for. I found out this way to sell it at 25. I was able to fix any problem your family had with $15,000. I also used that $10,000, was able to join into the equity partner, and he was able to sell a house. So I fixed 5 problems using none of my resources that I work hard for.
None of your financial resources.
Financial resources.
I say,
Let's take it
amen.
back.
So that's the deal. That's how we deal with wholesalers. That's how we do real estate investing. And I went through that very quickly. That was 45 minutes. This is really a longer, well, we're going to sit down and look at a property for about an hour. So this 45 minutes, we went kind of quickly. If any of this intrigued you, give us an email, give us a call. We're here to help because helping you helps us. And we need to leave our communities more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited them. Ashe. Amen. Peace.